Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea. I am Buckeye Stitcher. Uh, Welcome back to another video. If I sound a bit weird, I do apologize. I'm just getting over a cold. Um, this is the first day I've actually felt anything like myself. Let me turn this down just a little bit. Okay. I am going to be starting. I just finished this section. Oopsie. Let me not click on that. There we go. I just finished this section over here of Hawaiian Sunset. And so I'm going to continue to go down. I was thinking, do I want to move the hoop and go up here? But I don't want to move the hoop yet because there's still quite a lot I can do without moving the hoop. I don't like moving the hoop too often, especially once I have to start putting the hoop on the work itself. Um, I want to minimize the amount of times I'm taking it on and off of the work, uh, to not let it ruin it. Um, but okay. Like speaking of ruining it, what's that? So I've decided to go down and work on at least these 20 blocks right here. Oh, right here. Maybe even 30 or 40. I haven't decided if I'm going all the way down to the end or not. But I decided that I would record because I am doing uh I'm doing parking method for this. And so I figured since I'm starting a new section, this might be, a good time to show how I do that. So I have changed up the way I stitch recently. I used to go from left to right, top to bottom. I still go top to bottom, but now I'm going right to left. And I will explain why as I go through it. It just makes more sense to me, is the nutshell version of it. And I just think it's better. So our first color, and I'm sorry I don't have the pattern that I can put up on the screen, because my computer doesn't want to run Pattern Keeper anymore. But this block is what we're going to be working on. Not the whole block. That would be a very long video. um, but if you want to take a screenshot of that or something and refer to it as we go. If I could find a setup where I can, you know, oh my gosh, record my screen and stitch. I will find a way to do that. So our first color is 930. I already have that ready to go here. And since I work right to left, we're going to start on the right. Now I start right to left, but I always make my stitch in the bottom left first. So, and this is where it might get confusing. Because a lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but most of the time you hear people going left to right and they start in the left, or they start in the right and they go right to left. I'm a little bit I'm a little bit of both. I always do left to bottom left to upper right, and then bottom right to upper left. But I work in my stitches right to left. So we're gonna do our first stitch there. Let's see if I can. I want to move you a little bit closer. Maybe. Okay. That's probably good. Okay, we'll go with that. All right, so there's our first stitch, and then our next one, we're gonna look to see when the next color or when the next stitch in this color appears, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull that through, and then I just let it dangle right there. And then I mark it on my pattern, and I'll show you that so you can see what it looks like on my pattern keeper. For me, whenever I finish a stitch, it is colored in with its color, and then when I park, it goes in the bottom left hand corner, and that's where my little triangle goes, in the bottom left hand corner. Or the left hand bottom, oh my gosh, the left side of the square. So there's that. Our next color is 522, which is this really pretty green color. So I've moved all my color, well, not all of them, but I have moved most of my colors onto floss drops, and have made a master set that I have been working off of for this project, and I am loving it. I wasn't sure how I was going to like working off of a master set just because it's like all the colors. But I must say, I actually do like it a lot, having everything there. It's not as overwhelming as I thought it was going to be. So, all right, so we're gonna do our next stitches here. So we have 2 of these. And then we skip one. And the next one is that one. And we just let it hang again. I'm going to mark off what I did, mark where I parked. And then the next one is 502. Which is on the same card, which is awesome. So we have one here. Okay, and then I'm going to skip over these 2 and go here. Now that my next stitch, let me mark this off because I am notorious for not marking off my pattern. My next stitch is already in its place. So I don't need to pick up a new strand. I just pick up the strand that's there that we've parked. All right, thread it onto my needle. And we do that stitch. And then for this color, the next instance of this color is 1 row down and 1 square over. So right here. So we are, and I work in rows. So we are done with this color until we come all the way back around. Now, like I said, I work right to left. So we're going to go right, we're gonna work, we started here, we're gonna go all the way to the left, and then I'm gonna come right back over here to the right. I don't snake because I have found the parking method works best for me when I work right to left, because I don't have to worry about if I was to do this, if I was to do this thread right now, let's say I was working left to right. Well, because I have this here, this blue one here, that means this thread has to come up or down through this hole. But it already has a thread going through it. So I would have to maneuver the thread to get my needle through that. Where if I work right to left, I don't have to worry about that because all my stitches are going into holes that are open, basically. They either already have a stitch or they're just completely open. They don't have any open they don't have any dangling threads inside in them, which is why I like to work right to left. I just feel that it makes the most sense to me. So we're gonna do this color. And then next one goes right next to this red one. Next one is this color again. And you can certainly leave your needle attached to the thread. I know people who park and they leave their needles. They have all these needles attached to the end of their threads, so they don't have to keep re-threading. I do not like that personally. So I do not. But feel free to experiment with that. If you have a bunch of needles, just do 2 or 3 strands, keep the needles on, and see how you like it. I feel it tangles too much on me when I keep the needles on, so that's the only reason I don't um what do you call it? I don't keep the needles on. So we go 1, 2, 3. So we got this one here, and I forgot. I parked it and I did not mark the park on my sheet. So that would have been fun. All right, so my next color is one I don't have yet on the canvas. And it's everyone's favorite color, 310. So we're gonna get 310. There we go. Oops, as it gets tangled. There we go. All right, and then this 310, let's see. It does pick up further down. So it picks up in this box down here. And it picks up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 in. if I can get it. There we go. And then just to double check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 in. All right. So that one's going to be waiting for a while. But that color is there when we get down to it. And then my next colors, this one. And then because I'm at the end of my row, I'm going to go all the way back. I'm going to go one row down and all the way back to the right. And my first color in this row is this same blue. So we're going to do this stitch here. And then my next stitch is 1, 2. So we skip 2 in. So we skip these 2 in between and we go here. So there's that one. And then let me mark that. Okay. All right. Next color is a new color. So it's 3371. 3371. There it is. I do apologize if I sound very nasally. Like I said, I am just getting over a cold. It was a rough one. But I am so happy to be feeling better. Just got this lingering cough that won't go away. All right, so this color, this is like a really dark brown color, 3371. Okay, and then the next instance of it is right down below. And then we go back to this color. And as you stitch, you'll get to know your colors and your symbols. Pattern Keeper is nice because it shows you the color. And we're gonna park that right there. But as you go along, you'll start to recognize your colors. So, and if something doesn't seem right, then just go back and count. If you're not sure if you have the right color, then go find it in your palette and compare it. And hopefully it's the right color. Lord knows I've done that before, where I'm stitching with one thread and it's not the right one. I've lucked out where it was like, well, it's an orange color anyway, so we're just gonna leave it. Some of these are wrong. I'll be completely open and honest with you. Some of those oranges are not supposed to be. Well, they were supposed to be orange, but they were supposed to be a different hue. But I'm just like, you know what? They're flowers. They're going to look like that. So, because I was not going to frog out orange just to put orange right back in. It's not happening. So, but if you just take your time and you really count, really keep track, parking is actually a really nice way to stitch. We've got 2 here. And then we've got the next one is this one. And you just count however you have to count in order to make sure you're getting them in the right spot. That's the best I can tell you for parking, is just figure out a way that figure out how counting works for you and go from there. I find it easier to count right to left, which is awesome because I'm now stitching right to left. So it just works. If you can count easier going left to right, then try going left to right. There's no hard and fast rules in cross stitch. So don't be afraid to experiment and see what works for you. And if anyone tells you there's rules, they're wrong. So okay, sorry about that. So my next color is a new color. Oh, excuse me. Oh man, tired. It's 7:43. This is bright yellow, like a lemon yellow. And then the next instance of it is down here. And then 7:41 is right next to it. Which is nice because they're on the same card again. I wish that would happen more often. Oops. Come on. Getting stuck on my thing right there. And there you go. Now, if you were working in 20 by 20 blocks, you would just continue on. So in this line, in this row, there's one here and one here. You would just do that. You would just do those two, and then wherever you see it again, you place it. I'm doing 10 by 10 for the moment. I was doing 20 by 20 up here. I don't know, I might go back to 20 by 20. But for right now, I'm just doing 10 by 10. So next instance of it is under the yellow. Put 2 down. Okay. And the next color, 3813. So I don't really think parking takes any more time than just like cross country. Because that's another thing I hear about. If I can get my needle threaded, that would be great. There we go. That's another thing I hear is that cross country, or sorry, parking is takes too long. But I really don't think so because it feels longer because you're continuously going back and forth, depending on how much confetti you have. You're going back and forth between different strands, but I don't really think it's any slower. But it is a really good way of keeping track of where things are. So if you're having trouble keeping track of where you are in your pattern, try try parking. Just be very methodical. Oops, just be very methodical with how you stitch. And this one is two. And then the next one is here. So you see that we got something coming in here. Something. I'll pull up I'll pull up the mock-up so you can see where we're stitching. Let's see, where's the mock-up? There it is. Okay, so nope. Come on, which one is it? There it is. Hey, we found it. Okay. Oh, darn it. Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let me back out. So we are over here. Right here, actually. So right where this leaf is coming out, which is what that is. So that green part right there is this leaf right here. If we go in, you can see that's where we were. So it looks like we've got some yellows and some pinks coming in further down because we're going to be going out of this leaf and back into the flower. But that is how I do parking. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up so I know that you liked it. And please subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. I am planning on getting back onto live streams here soon. Just trying to get things settled. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Happy stitching.